All right, Motorator cast and crew here today at Steve Strope's Purevision, and we're going to look at some of the cars. We'll introduce Steve on the end, Matt L, Motorator Matt, as you've seen many times, and me, the
Sandy
professor.
Gans.
Sandy Gans as the professor.
Sandy Gans.
We're going to take a look at a car that Steve and his crew have been working on since we last caught it at the Grand National Roadster Show. Progress is moving like wildfire,
mad pace.
What's been done? We saw a little bit of a preview of the suspension. I don't remember if the motor was even in there.
The mock-up motor was in. I don't think.
I don't think it had an intake or something on it.
It was sitting basically like that. And the suspension, it was sitting on the floor under its own weight on the front and rear suspension. And what has been happening is a lot of intricate work that I'll explain, like in the rear quarter, the back side of the car. You can see kind of a ghost cage going on throughout the car. I want to integrate this, the cage in the vehicle into the sheet metal. This is a real good example.
So what you're essentially doing for the guys listening is you're taking a full tube frame and integrating it into the Ford's flimsy sheet metal products that are built in the Mustang.
It's an upgrade kind of skeleton on top of, and we'll look around real quick and we'll see it, but I've kept it very simple on purpose. This is a real good example. This crossbar here going underneath the core support. The rest of the sheet metal inside the engine bay will be done this way. When the sheet metal reaches a piece, this will be, metal finish. This is all welded together and metal finished. But when it reaches the bar, it'll be NASCAR, race car style stitch welded. So there's going to be a new piece we're going to make coming underneath the fender, like up here. When it reaches down to the bar, it'll stop here and get stitched weld. And then when the new piece leaves the bar going down, it'll be stitch weld. One thing we're waiting for is the shocks. The coilovers will be coming down and landing on the frame. So there'll be another tube, which I'm waiting to put in until the coilover's in place so we can match parallel lines, so we can match angles, so it's
functional and beautiful.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Now let's take a quick step back, because I don't know if this episode we talked about the origin of this car. This is a 69. It's a 69 Mustang, and you retrieved this from the bottom of
actually down the road. Right down the street.
Yeah,
you pick your parts and
found on eBay actually, and it just happened to be
and it happened to be right down the street.
Can you say about the engine that just rolled off the dyno? You want to disclose?
Oh, definitely. That's John Kazi built us an all aluminum Boss 9. It's about, I believe it's 521 cubic inch street motor.
Pump gas special?
Pump gas, plain Jane thing.
Yeah.
He's got it down to a science, and I knew he was the dude to call. And we just got the dyno sheets, and I don't know if memory's serving me right, but it was like 730 something, which is more than
it's more than enough, and we'll see you on the track.
Way more than enough. Modern Driveline did a hand-built Tremec 5-speed. We went with 5 instead of 6 because we wanted to keep the weight down, and then there's a Kevlar clutch in it to handle the horsepower. And
it'll be a brutal car.
But the way I've asked John to do it is make sure everything's low RPM, torque, everything's streetable. You won't have that big giant distributor with the octopus spark plug wires going on. I'm running an electromotive with a crank trigger, so that all the electronics will be inside behind the firewall under the cowl. Then there'll be 2 ports in the firewall that the spark plug wires will come through, and they'll sneak along the bottom and come up into the head. So when you open the hood, you're just going to get coilovers and then all aluminum motor. And for me, it's as much as an art project as it is mechanical too. So there's going to be a very color coordinated situation going on. A lot of raw aluminum.
We've already changed the head.
The other thing that I want to comment, I dig the fact that there's no blower on here.
No, well,
I mean, everybody today has something with a Vortec or
turbos,
something. Yeah, anything. The guys making just raw horsepower, few and far between. A lot of cars. It's. I almost think of it kind of like a cheating kind of thing. Guy making 700 horsepower with a 4-barrel. I'm about that. I like the high compression, but for this, it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to make 700 horsepower.
Yeah, as John said, it's going to make that horsepower by mistake.
Yeah.
It'll be EFI, it'll be throttle body and injected. I just wanted him to pick a cam profile and compression ratio that was usable and streetable, and he goes, oh, okay, no problem, because he built some really hardcore motors, and he's used to I need the last ounce of horsepower out of this thing, no matter what, for a serious drag racer. So our request was, a walk in the park for him.
Sane.
Yeah, the front end from JME, this is their, I guess, one of their higher end units. They start with actually a cradle, this metal piece here that gets welded into the frame rails. And then, of course, the aluminum connectors that base the whole cradle and the support of the system. And you have this raised tower that's also welded into the frame rail and supports the upper tower for the cantilever and the upper arm. Now, one of the cool things about JME's componentry is everything's modular. Everything is separate individual pieces, and they did that because this stuff was, if I'm remembering correctly, Julio, you can yell at me later, it was developed on their race car. And the main thing is being able to change, alter, work on. If something goes bad, you can replace the one part that went bad instead of the whole unit. So pretty straightforward, your arm just comes up and it's just compressing the coil spring.
It's all going to be anodized.
All the suspension will be done in this hard anodized. It's kind of a military spec.
No chrome for you, Matt?
I was thinking that, but Steve steered me,
Enough of the chrome. What we've done is we cut on that body edge on the other side. Right here is where the quarter panel broke over. And we wanted to pull this quarter out a good 1.5 inches, I think we did, right? 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches.
Something like that.
But the problem is it's still got to land equal with the door and back with the quarter extension. So what we had done is we cut the seam, then there's a drop, a notch and a flare in it. And then these pie cuts, these small relief cuts, were put in the quarter, allowing us to bow it and then tie it into the stock locations front and rear.
Yeah.
And before we pulled that other quarter off, you could walk back and forth, and you could barely see the difference. So in the back, we've done a little more styling changes and some alterations, but yet we're trying to tighten it up. There's one kind of major change, which we'll get to, but this piece back here, Matt had developed and designed, and it's graceful, it's tasteful, it's performance, and it'll be made to bolt onto your stock factory pieces. But I believe you're going to make the quarter extensions and the deck lid available in carbon also if somebody wants that.
That's correct.
So it's a match set, or it's kind of like Garanimals. You can
Mix and match.
I don't like to say that, but
I like when you see them without the quarter extensions, it looks like it's kind of a hack add-on. So it's a nice, tasteful blending of the line.
Matt had a really nice idea that it was a little bit of doing to integrate, but these are actually 68 taillights. This piece is a 68 reproduction piece that I took you buy it as all one piece.
Okay.
And we took them off, and I did the math to shrink it because they're very different. The 68 piece is like that tall.
Yeah.
It's much taller. So integrating it in and getting that in, we got to finish with a couple of little blendings. But this I really liked. Here's a little bit of the European being thrown in. These openings kind of more like 360 Modena, 430 Scuderia kind of a thing.
The challenge cars.
Right, where it's actually we made the cut opening, and then it's like a 3/16 rod welded in, and then there's a flange on the backside that has mounting studs, and then this mesh screen is also attached to another flange made. It's actually very different because not only is there a curve, but this curve and this curve are completely different.
Yeah, you can see
and
the
this
taper
panel
right
actually twists like this. This is the big eye candy. You're looking through the fastback window, and you got this really neat cantilever articulation coil over. But the interesting thing is I've been speaking with Mike, obviously, whose dad used to be, he raced in a lot of Trans Am stuff back in the day. They are definitely a race family, and they continue to this day. And this suspension is in his current race car, and he's currently tromping everybody at Good Guys events. He's a very good driver. And the suspension, both of these aren't just glammy looks. Both of them have been engineered and used on their individual companies' race cars. First is we can finish off on the rear suspension. Here's the bottom side of the Meyer rear suspension, which is a torque arm situation with a Watts link to keep the unit centered. Again, a bit elaborate, but is indeed effective and works very well, and is working for Mike very well on the track.
And what transmission are you putting in it?
It's the Tremec. Bruce does a great job of the reason I started speaking with him and talking to him on this project is I was referred by people who were talking positively about him. And after working with him, he just sets you real straight about what is and what isn't real and what you should or shouldn't be putting in the car for what you're expecting to do with it. And he's talking to me about different clutches, and I go, well, what do you recommend? He goes, well, a Kevlar clutch, to handle this. And I'm like, isn't that a bit exotic? But he goes, no, trust me, we don't want to have problems. Yeah. Put the good stuff in now, be done with it. And so he's not trying to make the buck, he's trying to make sure it doesn't come back and there's problems later. And I really enjoyed that honesty and straightforward design element with him, that he understood where we were going and said, I'm going to be telling you what you need to do so that we're all happy later on.
We're going to have Matt tell us a little bit about this hood that he's come up with for his car, and then we'll tell the build schedule and you guys will wrap us. How's that?
Sure. Well, we started with the actual hood that came with this car, the factory hood. And anybody who knows Mustangs knows that the 6970 hood had this sort of what I call an ironing board sort of beak that kind of came through here that I thought is just kind of out of keeping with the rest of the style of the car. So I wanted to design a hood that really was sleek and modern, but still went with the car without it looking too hokey. So Steve's guys, I was here. They cut that part out in the middle here. You can see the remnants of where the cut was. There's foam behind here. That's what we added to get that going, and then it kind of came up. And then this is all the original understructure that we cleaned up. And we smoothed out all the body welds and everything, and all the little nicks and knacks that normally come with these old hoods. So then when we make our carbon fiber molds, our part's going to come out really nice.
I want to show one thing, ingeniously simple and stupid idea. How many times you take a hood off and have, standing on a couple of towels or rags, a couple of 2x4s bolted in? Ingenious. I love the stupid simplicity of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we came up with this sort of riser here, but we didn't want a cowl induction hood like all the Chevys have, and it's a Ford, so you definitely don't want to have that. Even though I've seen some Mustangs with cowl induction, it's a little strange. But we sort of it comes up and it falls back to the back of the hood to nothing again. And we had that, and it was looking pretty cool. And it has just a slight peak here. This is the original peak. This is the original hood here. And we put some foam on here, and this is just Bondo and stuff. And then I thought, God, it's pretty cool, but it's just not aggressive looking enough for this car.
Yeah.
And I felt like, maybe we want to get some air from under the hood. And so we designed these air extractors that are sort of a la Aston Martin.
The cool thing that's going to be about this carbon fiber, and throw your plug out, this is going to be available as well as parts for other guys.
All the carbon fiber bits that Steve went over with this car were going to be available to the public. These scoops were actually originally done in SolidWorks on the computer.
Okay.
And then first we did, the Aston ones are a lot rounder, and it just didn't look right on this car, or on this hood, and the car is more angular and stuff. So my designer, Ricky, did a couple versions, and he squared them up a little bit, and it looked perfect. So.
And the cool thing is they're functional.
Right.
It'll actually pull heat.
Yeah, it's going to look good though.
And I think we need that. And there's going to be some mesh in here that's going to be formed so it's raised up just a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it'll fit in there perfectly, and it'll kind of match the mesh that you have going on in the rear.
Right, yeah. We're actually going to start uploading all the stuff on this car daily. Or maybe not daily, but weekly. We're going to start putting up. I'm actually putting up a separate page on my website, which is purevisiondesign.com.
Okay.
So you'll be able to follow along, and we're hoping to actually put up some videos every now and then, kind of like quickie sneak peeks, and then some videos of maybe interesting pieces going on.
Well, toss out a plug to the Anvil carbon fiber
for
products.
those who don't know, Anvil Auto, A-N-V-I-L, like the big heavy thing that
Like across your shirt.
Oh, right there, Anvil Auto, yeah. Anvilauto.com. You can go to our website, and hopefully, right before this car's done, we'll have stuff up on our website.
But you've got the artwork up already.
Yeah, we do. We have a few pictures. We'll keep loading up pictures, and of course, go to Steve's. He'll probably have more than me.
Steve, tremendous.
Thank you
for showing the shop.
Appreciate
Matt,
it.
great to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Matt.
And
Thanks, Matt. Thanks.
Matt, we still haven't come up with our exit, so we're going to have to roll with another Mahalo again.
No.
Let's not use it.
Just on to
Bang
the
those
next
gears.
segment.
Yeah.
And we're out.